Most fast food places use complex algorithms to come up with combos, but that tastes even more boring than it sounds. With my new sourdough bacon ranch combo, we simply figured out how to get all that flavor into one combo. It comes with my delicious full-size sourdough bacon ranch on toasted sourdough bread, hot and salty fries, and 100+ drink choices for just $4.99. Class dismissed. The sourdough bacon ranch combo for $4.99 at Jack in the Box. Combo's done my way, for a limited time only at participating restaurants.
Ferocious, I want your heart, I want to eat his children.
Good evening, everybody. You know what it is. Today is Wednesday. We are back after a small hiatus and glad to be back with you. This is the RUCKUS podcast brought to you by badculture.net. I'm your host, Jay LaBeouf. I'm joined by the Raging Babe, RB, Michelle Rosado. You know, we have another great show for you. I am out in the field, so if it sounds like there's traffic whizzing around me, there is. And if you're in the valley, come see me. I'm on Ventura Boulevard. But we have a great show planned for you this evening. We had a chance to catch up with Chris Algieri, who will be fighting against Errol Spence on April 16th. So you'll listen to the interview that RB and I did with him earlier. And we'll give an update. It's Pacquiao-Bradley fight week. It's Joshua Martin fight week in England. And a lot going on in boxing this week. Some good things going on in boxing, good matchups, and a great interview with Chris Algieri. RB, are you ready for the fans to hear this interview that we did with the Argentinian Italian earlier today?
I am ready. We had a lot of fun with Chris Algieri. We weren't sure, how good of a sport he was going to be with us today because we really wanted to do something different with him. And, it's not often that he goes on different boxing podcasts in general. So we were really, really lucky to land the interview, to get to talk to him today, and just have some of his time. And we had fun. I think everyone's going to really enjoy it.
Exactly. We asked him some of your favorite things you have to listen. We had to ask him about being let out the cage, so make sure you listen in. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and kick off the interview. I'm going to mute myself so that you guys can get a little bit better sound quality. So let's bring in part one of our interview today with Chris Algieri. Here we go.
So we want to take it back with you today. We know that you've been talking a lot about this Spence fight that you got coming up in Brooklyn on April 16th, but I kind of want to rewind with you because you actually started your pro career in 2008 in Brooklyn at the Aviator Sports Complex. And it's kind of all come full circle. Now you're actually headlining in Brooklyn on NBC. So I think it's fair to say that you've taken the road less traveled to get to where you are. So how does it feel to be back fighting in Brooklyn on a major stage now?
First of all, thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. I definitely have taken a different road than a lot of the other champions out there. It's been kind of a grassroots campaign. My fan base has been very organic. Just kind of being on local shows, selling a lot of tickets, having a lot of people come and watch my fights, and just it's tough fight after tough fight. I've never been the guy who was hand-picked opponents and went out there and I had to find ways to win throughout my entire career. As you said, my pro debut was at the Aviator in Brooklyn, and I mean, I would probably say more than half my fights have actually been in or around Brooklyn area, and it's been thrilling. It's been a great ride, and it's exciting to now be headlining in the biggest venue in Brooklyn and arguably in New York State at the Barclays Center. So it's been great. Like you said, it's been full circle. It's becoming full circle now to be leading these shows.
It is. I remember the first time I watched you, it was on a main events card in New York, and I can't quite remember who your opposition was, but that's kind of when you snuck on the scene. And then I feel like you made a big splash when you fought Emmanuel Taylor. So my question is, why didn't you sign with main events? Why did you sign with Star?
I was actually already signed with Star. The fight you're talking about is actually against Jose Peralta. who was actually a hot prospect at the time. He was coming off a big win against Christian Martinez, who was the New York State Golden Gloves champ. Rattled off a bunch of fights, wins in a row. Was looking really impressive. I was already with Star at that point, and that fight came up, and it was a great opportunity to fight on NBC Sports. And so I've never been a guy to pass up an opportunity, no matter how tough a fight is. So we jumped on it, and the rest is history.
Well, we could sit here and go through all of your fights, but we know that you've already been asked the same things over and over. So we like to do things a little different on our show and have some fun. You got to fight Emmanuel Taylor, and then you fought Ruslan Pravnikov, which was an amazing, amazing fight for you. And then you got the big Manny Pacquiao fight. And we don't even want to talk about those fights. We want to talk about something that we saw on YouTube. You had this big barbecue at your house, and we just fell out laughing. So, Jay, if you want to talk to Chris about this barbecue.
Chris, this barbecue was so lit. I don't know how I missed it during the promotion. It started off with this shot of you running down the street, and then next thing you know, you got a machete. We got a pig on the spit. There were a couple kids there that looked like my daughter. I'm like, what is going on at the Algieri house with this pig? Please tell me about this pig. We know your mother's Argentinian, but what is going on in Long Island with this big pig in the backyard that has become this Algieri family tradition?
Well, you both said that you like to have fun. Well, in the Algieri house, we like to have fun as well. It's actually a yearly tradition. We do it for my brother's birthday. I'm not exactly sure where the idea came from. It's definitely rooted in my Argentinian culture and family. That's something that is pretty regular, that we have big Sunday barbecues. And the pig thing was kind of a recent in the past couple of years, but it just turns into an all-day event. With good food, good family. I've got all my nephews. I have 4 of them now. God bless. They're running around, having a great time. They've been growing up. I've seen every stage of their lives growing up. So we're just a really tight family, and we like to have fun and cook and eat well.
Chris, I'm Puerto Rican, so I understand the whole pig roast. We call it a lechon. And when I saw you pouring the beer on it, I'm like, oh, my God, he is so Hispanic. Like, he is so Spanish, it's not even funny. So, do you guys use, Goya products to season the pernil, too?
We do. People don't really they don't realize so much just looking at me that I'm Latin.
I could tell.
If you know what you're looking at, you can tell. But and you know how the culture is. The Latin American culture. It's very tight family. Everyone is everyone knows everything about everybody, and you come together as much as possible. And there's no better way to do it than over food, whether it be a big roasting pig or whatever.
So that is part one. Breaking it down for us is barbecue, this pig. Reggie Larby, did you think he was that Hispanic?
I didn't, until I saw the YouTube clip from HBO where they were out there roasting the pig, and I saw him dumping the beer on it, and I'm like, yo, they are straight, Spanish people. They don't play. That's stuff that we do as family and in our culture, whether you're Mexican, Argentinian, Dominican, Puerto Rican. I was like, yo, he really embraces his culture. That's so dope that he does that. Because not a lot of people do know that about him. He looks like this blonde-haired, blue-eyed, maybe Italian white boy, but he loves his Argentine roots.
Exactly. Well, now I am going to go ahead and get into part 2, and Chris Algieri is going to take it in the kitchen.
Any reason why you don't rep Argentina a little harder? I've never really seen you come in with the flags, or, is it just something more private for you?
I just said it's private. I always do. I just don't really make it like a big flashy flag is actually on my mouthpiece. I usually have something on my trunks. The color of my trunks is always, the style of my trunks has always been influenced by my culture. The whole reason I fight is because of my Argentinian grandfather, Carlos. We watched fights growing up. It's always something that anyone who's close to me knows is a big deal. And earlier in my career, I used to come in with the flag, and do that. Even in that Peralta fight, I had the flag for that fight. But I've kind of made it more low key. But it doesn't mean that I'm not rooted in the culture of the people at all.
Chris, can you speak Spanish? Because we see some fighters out there who who rep a Latin culture, and I think I speak more Spanish than they do. I know I do work. Can you speak Spanish?
I'm conversational. I'm fluent, but I grew up in a household where English is the first language. But whenever I've traveled to countries, I'm always.
All right. We saw Errol Spence. He did an interview, and he mentioned that I guess he saw you cooking, but that he didn't see many spices in your kitchen. So can you tell us what kind of spices you like to season your food with?
Damn, Errol is looking. Huh?
Oh, you're breaking up a little there.
I said Errol is looking that close. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Got me?
I didn't know Errol was looking that closely into my cooking, but yeah, no,
clocking you.
I use a lot of spices actually. I use a lot more fresh herbs than it's very difficult to tell when on Instagram or photos or videos and this and that. But I mean, you will see garlic, rosemary, thyme, cilantro, parsley. I like spicy foods, so I use a lot of jalapenos in my cooking. Black pepper, of course, chili powder. I put chili powder actually on my fresh fruit, on slices of watermelon, mango.
You're definitely
apple.
Latino.
Right. I mean, But if anybody who doesn't know that, put some chili powder on your watermelon or your mango. Ooh, that stuff is, or pineapple. That's amazing. But yeah, no, spices are important, especially with the food that I eat because it is so quote unquote clean, and lean. You gotta really spice it up to make it more flavorful.
I saw this. We made a drop to promote the show for tonight, and I saw the clip of the video with you, the guy with the jalapenos and the fruit juice. That's pretty dope. I'm gonna have to try that out. But I have to tell you, Chris, while he's clocking your kitchen, you can go online and see a video of Errol Spence making some chicken. He thinks he's quite the cook as well, and his chicken was looking pretty bland. So I wouldn't let him talk about your food like that because it sounds like you got way more popping in your kitchen than he. Do you have any Old Bay seasoning in your kitchen?
No, I don't use a lot of pre-mixed stuff. I like to do everything my own. I don't even use other salad dressings. I like to make my own salad dressings. I'll just do extra virgin olive oil with some balsamic vinegar, especially one that's a little reduced and thicker. And then you throw in some dried herbs like oregano, black pepper. Man, you can't beat that.
I'm taking notes over here. There's got to be a cookbook. You have to be coming up with some type of cookbook.
It's been in the works for a better part of a year now, and I have a ton of recipes. I have about 60 recipes already written. I've just kind of perfected my craft, kind of getting the world to kind of know that this is something else that is a passion of mine and something that I've been doing for a long time. Just trying to get it to, I want to put out something that's going to be amazing. I want to blow people's socks off. I don't want it to just be so, so I'm trying to put something really nice together.
I don't know. Maybe you might want to go in a different direction. Your food looks so jamming on Instagram. I need to come live at your house so I can lose some of this weight. But have you ever thought about
when my manager is living with me during camp and we're cooking all the time, I mean, everybody gets in shape around me. Everybody, my family, I mean, in the past couple of years, my trainers, everybody gets in better shape around me because this is the kind of food that I have, and I like to cook for other people, and whenever I can, have people over, cook some meals, eat some of the good stuff.
Y'all really think I'm playing. If Chris Algieri said he has some Old Bay seasoning in his house, for those of you who are not black and listening to this show, every black household has some Old Bay seasoning in their house. And if they don't, they kind of suspect. So we put Old Bay seasoning on everything. But at any rate, yeah, I'm moving to Long Island because I could get my body cracking. Somebody's going to do all the cooking for me. I'm moving next door. Did you get some good tips from the cooking?
I did. I'm going to try the chili powder on the mango and the watermelon because he was like, it is so good. And the way he said, I'm like, okay, it has to be banging. So I'm going to try that. I was definitely taking notes. And how can you not look good on his diet? He does it so effortlessly, and he loves doing it. He said 60 recipes already written. Man, what woman doesn't want a man that could cook?
And he's in shape year round. He's in shape like that. He's about that life. When he said the chili on there. I know our Mexican listeners are like, that's just some tahini. Everybody in California eats that. But, that's they on the East Coast. It's something different. Well, now we're going to get into part 3 of our interview where we ask him to grade Errol Spence.
During the HBO special, we saw that you were actually living in your parents' basement. Is that still where you're living?
I'm actually down at my condo in Boca Raton right now, down in Florida.
Nice.
I'm back and forth. Like I said, I'm very close with my family. So whenever I'm back in New York, I'm back at the old crib and hanging out with my nephews and my family, my brother and my mom and dad. So, but whenever I need to escape, I can come down here and it's nice and quiet.
Since you're down there in Boca Raton, we know that you're training with John David Jackson. And during the last couple fights, there's been some word that he's kind of refined your style, brought some different things. Has your relationship continually evolved and extend into your fight preparation?
Absolutely. Me and John really get along. We see things a certain kind of way in more than just boxing. And, it's really kind of shown in the way that we've been able to progress together in the gym. He refers to it all the time. I'm a true student of the game. I always want to learn. John's kind of a quiet guy, but I ask a lot of questions, and I'm always trying to get him to, hey, coach, how was today? Hey, coach, what about this? Hey, coach, what about that? Hey, coach, I'm hungry to learn still. I've been in this game for a little while, but you can't stop learning. And I think with someone like John, who's got such an incredible wealth of knowledge, if I wasn't pushing the envelope, I'd be wasting everybody's time.
You guys got a real heavy camp over there training with John David Jackson. We know that he also trained Sergey Kovalev. Have you ever had a chance to spar or with Sergey Kovalev since you've been down there?
No, it's worked out that Sergey and I's camps have not really overlapped. We had a little bit of an overlap, I think, back in December. We train different times during the gym, but I've been around the gym when Kovalev is, but we never got in the ring together. We were, like I said, our sparring sessions and sparring times during camp never overlapped.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's get into this Errol Spence fight. We had some fun. Now we got to kind of talk about the fight, and we know that you've been talking about it probably every day. So, look, we already know you're in shape. We know you're ready. We know you train hard, so we're not going to ask you the typical questions that you get from everyone else in the media. But what I do want to ask you is when this fight was announced, everybody was really excited about this fight. And I think even today, most boxing fans think it's a 50-50 fight, yet you're still coming in as the underdog, having fought these high-caliber fighters. Why are you still the underdog in this fight? Why do you think?
Honestly, I think it's because people still don't know who I am. People still don't know what I bring to the table, bring to the ring. And I don't think anyone ever really asks. I'm always feel like when I'm in training camp that I'm making believers out of everybody who's around me. But if you don't see me, if you're not there day in and day out, you don't see what I'm able to do. How are you going to be able to see it? So that's just it. I mean, it'll come. The public will realize everything in one day. But in the meantime, it's fine. Being the underdog is nothing new. I say it all the time. What other people think about me really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it is just myself, and this case is going to be Errol in the ring, and that's all that matters right now.
I wondered when the fight was announced. There was so much talk about it on social media. Everybody was going bananas, yet we didn't really hear a peep from you. There was nothing on social media from you. You made no announcement. It just seemed like you were really quiet. Was there some issues in getting this fight finalized where you felt comfortable actually talking about it? Was there a holdup?
What people don't understand is the business side of boxing. There is a tremendous amount that goes into making any fight happen, and not even just about opponent, date, money, this and that. There's a lot that goes behind it, and I just felt that I needed to hold my cards a little bit in order to get the best deals and negotiations possible. That's all. It's
Good
more
for
of
you.
a business than anything. Excuse me? Hello?
Looking at your competitor. Can you hear us, Chris?
Yes, gotcha.
All right, cool. Looking at your competitor's resume, how would you grade Errol Spence's resume?
So far so good. I mean, he's done exactly what he's supposed to do with the guys he put in front of him. I just don't think all that much about the guys that have been put in front of him so far. But he's handled business and done what he's supposed to do, like what you're supposed to do with those kind of guys.
You're a scholar. We know you're a very, very intelligent guy. You have a master's degree. Give us a letter grade and why you would give that letter grade. Yes. What grade would he give Errol Spence? What grade would you give him, Michelle?
I think we asked him to grade Errol Spence's resume, not so much grade Errol Spence the fighter. If I had to grade his resume, I don't know, maybe like a C minus. I mean, the kid is young. People have been wanting him to step up, and I think that this is his big step-up fight. And I know that they've had a hard time getting him quality opposition. So I don't think he was purposely babied or purposely, given cupcakes to fight. So I would have to say C. What would you grade him?
I would give him about a B minus, a little bit higher, just because of, like you said, he is young and he does need time to cultivate a list of opponents. But at the same time, it's like there's the same. He's like a puppy with big paws. So a lot of expectations have been placed on Errol Spence. So a little bit, higher expectation with much given, much expected. So we're going to get back into this interview. We're going to hear what grade Chris Algieri gives Errol Spence's resume, and we're also going to talk about whose diet needs a little bit of tweaking if he could get their hands on them. Here it goes.
It's hard. It's hard to do that because even watching tapes, of his professional fights, it's just a lot of guys standing in front of him and him just, having his way with them. So it's difficult to give a grade or plus and minuses on certain things. But it's like any fighter, there's holes. We are creatures of nature, of habit, and so everyone has their little tells and little things, and we've been working on very specific game planning and strategies. And that'll show on April 16th.
All right.
Jeandra mentioned you're a scholar, you've been to college, and we want to know how the heck did you find time with boxing to get all these degrees? I mean, it's not like you were going to the University of Phoenix online.
Right.
You were actually, in school and getting these degrees. Where did you find time to do all this?
I wish I had an answer for you.
I guess you didn't sleep.
I think back to those times, and it was rough. It was very difficult to be studying for a physics exam and then having a fight on the weekend. Professional bout for 10 rounds, 12 rounds. Going to class and having to grab my professor at the beginning of the semester and to explain to them that if I have a black eye, it's not because I'm fighting in the bar over the weekend. It's because this is my profession that I do on the side to pay for school. Or that if I'm going to be eating during class, that, I have to do that. I have a very tight schedule when it comes to, my nutrition, and I had to do that. And to explain that, I wasn't a college athlete. I didn't have, he can't take the test. He'll take the midterm, after his travel date. I just had to make things work. I remember a very specific sparring session where I was sparring with Louis Colazo. One of the
Brooklyn fighter.
Champ. Yeah, absolutely. Good friend of mine, good training partner, excellent fighter, guy I grew up watching. And it was one of my first sparring sessions with him back in Ozone Park, and we're driving back from Long Island, and I'm breaking out my book studying for physics, talking to my coach about, about vectors and this and that. And he's looking at me like, and trying to switch in your head to be like, I just sparred with a former world champion and now I got to go study for my midterm tomorrow. It's definitely a trying time. Different road for sure, but tough nonetheless.
Definitely shows discipline.
And that's been something that for whatever reason I knew that to be successful, that discipline and sacrifice were two things that were going to have to be a mainstay in my life, and nothing has changed.
Chris, given your extensive background in nutrition and all of those things food-related, we've been seeing a lot of fighters losing out on opportunities at the scale, either not making the fight, losing titles, etc. If you could pick an active fighter based on their caliber of talent, but just could be a little bit better, with a little bit better nutritional plan, who would you like to get your hands on? Because we see so many guys who starve themselves to death, and then on fight night they're sluggish because they probably went out and had like a steak and lobster after the weigh-in. Who would you want to get your hands on?
Honestly, there's so many fighters out there who are like that. So many guys, young guys, experienced guys, former champions, current champions. It's amazing to me to see how many guys are lacking in that department when it comes to proper diet, nutrition, and just nutrition for human performance. I mean, other sports are doing it. Other sports make this a huge deal. You look at NFL players who don't have to make weight, but like their diets, they have full staffs of nutritionists working on them. And, they make a lot of money. They make a lot more money than the majority of fighters. But, there's money in this sport, too. These guys just need to take the time and do some research to find someone to help them and really take this seriously. I get asked all the time, how many hours a day do I train? I say 24. Everything I do is for fighting. Whether it's cooking my food, eating my food, laying on the couch and resting, talking to you beautiful ladies while I'm on the phone right now. Or sweating it out.
We heard you're a ladies' man.
I'm not going to say anything about that.
You plead the fifth, Chris. Just plead the fifth. You sound so passionate about the food, the nutrition. Is this something that you want to do post-career when boxing is all said and done, life after boxing? Is this really what you want to pursue?
It's something I'm doing right now in between fights. At this stage of my career, I'm not fighting 5 times a year like I used to and like I actually like to. So I have time in between. I do a lot of speaking engagements at human performance seminars, nutrition seminars, like I said, working on the cookbook. So this is something that will definitely never leave me. It's a passion of mine, just like boxing. Boxing will never leave me. My passion for the sport has been here long enough, the majority of my life, that I don't see it going anywhere. So my future will definitely have some kind of, saying my future post-boxing. As a competitor, will never leave me.
I was enjoying that part of the segment so much. Hell, Chris Algieri said everything he does is part of his plan. He trains 24/7, and even talking to us beautiful ladies is part of the plan. Chris is a player. I love it.
He is. And the little birdie in Long Island told me he is definitely a ladies' man. So when he said, no comment, that was all she wrote. You already know he's a handsome young man. I really think that he knows really how to be politically correct. We asked him to grade Errol Spence's resume, and he wouldn't really give him a grade. We asked him, which fighter would you love to get your hands on and help them learn how to make weight, and again he gives the politically correct answer. So you could tell he doesn't like the trash talk. He doesn't like to belittle anybody. He's not going to call anybody out. He's just a really mature guy. I really like him.
Yeah, he's a class act. He's very focused. He's very disciplined. I really liked what he said about attending class and just notifying them ahead of time. If I come in with some bruises, I'm not turning up on the weekend. I fight for a living. And just everything, his lifestyle is just very, very admirable. Just another level of discipline.
Yeah.
So now we will get into part 5. And this was very intriguing to us as we prepared for this interview. We've seen Chris Algieri on 3 consecutive PBC cards, so we wanted to get to the bottom of this. Is Chris Algieri an Al Haymon fighter or not? Let's listen.
All right, we got to circle back and talk about this Spence fight, even though we could probably talk to you about 100 other things. But we had Errol Spence on the show a few weeks ago, and we asked him to give us 3 words that would best describe you. And his 3 words were heart, tough, and smart. And so we'd like you to give us 3 words that would describe Errol Spence.
That's a good assessment, Errol. I got to tip my hat. I would say technique. It's
he has a nice smile. Oh, you wouldn't say that. Let's see. He's a nice guy.
He's got a great hairline. He's got a really nice hairline.
He has a nice hairline.
I would definitely
Is he humble? Maybe not.
Seems so. He does. I mean, he seems so. I like I said, I only met him one time at the presser, but I would say that even from what I've heard and what he's saying, humble, technical, humble, and I would say his body punching. He's a good body puncher. That's something that's been really consistent. I've noticed in his pro fights.
Yeah, the people behind Spence, they're already talking about the future. You know, they're like, oh, you know, we want him to fight Kell Brook, the winner of Thurman Porter, maybe even the winner of Berto Ortiz. So, God willing, if and when, you know, you beat him on the 16th, do you get those same opportunities? Will you have the same luxuries to call out the winner of Thurman Porter, the winner of Berto Ortiz?
You know, I can't give you a definitive answer, but all I can say is that in the past, whenever there's been an opportunity for me to fight someone who was supposed to fight somebody, when I beat them, I got the opportunity myself. In a perfect world, that's how things work, and apparently in boxing, sometimes that can be the way it works. But, you know, only for myself. I'm just focused on April 16th right now.
You know, Chris, I know this is a tough topic, but you know, we didn't have the opportunity to speak with you because we're here on the West Coast and the press conference was on the East Coast. Right before your press conference, there was a story that came out from Kevin Eiley kind of detailing some things going on with your promotional outfit. Where are you today? You know, we see you on these PBC shows. Are you an Al Haymon fighter or no?
No, I'm not. No, I am. I have the opportunity to fight on these shows, and you know, it's been a great opportunity for me, you know, to be able to compete in these shows. And what the PBC is doing is fantastic because it's giving a lot more power to fighters, and it's giving us a grand stage. So I want to be a part of it in that sense. But no, I'm not an Al Haymon fighter.
You're one of the select few in the sport that can fight repeatedly on PBC. I mean, I think this is going to be your third consecutive fight and not be signed with Al. So that's pretty awesome. I mean, typically, you know, you have to sign with the guy running the show. And so I think it's pretty cool that you can be on these big stages.
You know, I've had the opportunity to fight on almost every large promotional company's banner. You know, because of that reason, I've been out there, and I've never been a protected guy. You know, I've always been the guy who's had tough fights. I never was able to pick and choose who I fought. I just there were opportunities in front of me, and I took them. You know, you don't see that a lot these days. You see a lot of guys that completely stick to, you know, whoever they have, their managers and their promoters, and they're protected on their way up. I haven't had that luxury, so I got to go out there, and I know that every fight I have to work. And I have to be my best.
Yeah, every time you put on a show, every time you fight, the fight does good ratings on the network. So it's no mystery why they keep bringing you back on the big stages because, you know, a lot of fighters lose one or two and they don't come back. They kind of disappear. So with you, I think your heart, your will, your look, a little bit, you know, you're kind of the full package. So win, lose, or draw, TV wants you back. And I think that's awesome. Right. You can't buy that. You know, you can't buy that type of that type of need for a fighter like you.
Yeah, you know, I really also I think part of it is that my willingness to get in there with anybody. I think a lot of fighters kind of miss out on opportunities because of that. Maybe it's their managers, maybe I don't know what it is. But we got to see more guys who are willing to step up and fight each other. We got so many talented guys, especially in the welterweight division. Let's get everybody to fight each other. You know, it's just all about competition. Let's get the best of the best, and let's see what happens.
All right. Well, so that gets to the end of that. He is not an Al Haymon fighter. Let me not say officially or try to put some type of circle above it, though asterisk, he is not an Al Haymon fighter. He's just had these fortunate opportunities to appear on these PBC cards, and now he's going to appear on the next one. Why do you have an opinion on why or why not he is able to accomplish that? As we know, Demetrius Andrade is also on Star Boxing, but we see what happens to him when he said no.
Yeah, well, you know what? Algieri has so many other angles towards him that work for him more than just what he does in the ring. I mean, he has a great personality. He speaks well. He looks good. He trains hard. He does get in there and fight tough fighter after tough fighter. And, again, those are the type of warriors in boxing that the fans enjoy watching. They want to see those guys back on TV. And that's very special because you have seen some fighters that maybe take their first L or they lose twice, and they literally disappear. You don't hear about them anymore. They're fighting on the undercard, off TV, here. And only a very select few fighters can lose 1, 2, 3, or 4 times and still be wanted back on network TV. That is very, very, very special. I mean, think about that. How many fighters, that take some L's are still headlining shows? But
Absolutely.
He always brings entertainment. He always puts up a great fight. He's always ready. And, you can't fool the fans for too long. We see through the hypocrisy. We see through the bullshit. He's a real fighter.
Absolutely. Whether you like him or not, he will show up prepared. We know he's going to show up in shape. Hell, he might cook for the camp. We need to put, some of these promoters need to put him on payroll. But now we will play the final part of our interview with Chris Algieri. Honestly, we could have talked to this guy for an hour, and he was just phenomenal, very intelligent, very insightful. So we're going to bring it full circle and play part 6 of our interview with Chris Algieri. Okay, Chris, before we wrap it up, I just have one more question, and it's kind of something that's been around for a while, and I just wanted your take on it. During a past fight of yours, there was a reference called "Let Him Out of the Cage," and from now, that reference has been used with other fighters, not even related to you. In hindsight, do you find that funny that it's used so much on social media? What do you think about that term now and its place now in boxing social media?
I think that's something that's been used for a long time. It's like you think of fighters like, he's an animal. He's an animal in his cage. He needs to get out and tear things up. So I don't really see it being completely linked to me because, it was around before me. It'll be around after me. It's unfortunate the way that that came about and how it came about for me in particular. But, that doesn't really bother me. None of that stuff really does. I don't know if you guys noticed. I don't really care much what people think about me. when it comes to negativity, I should say.
No, we're trying to come to that barbecue, so no negativity on that end. We coming to the barbecue, so tell Long Island to get ready. We coming. I'll bring some potatoes.
Can't be beat. We got the pool too. We can play around.
Oh, it's on. It's on. I'm gonna bring my daughter. A couple of kids look like my daughter, so yeah, we coming. So before we wrap it up, Chris, go ahead and, for our listeners who are checking out the show, remind them of the fight and where it's at, who you fighting, your social media, all that good stuff.
All right, April 16th, live at the Barclays Center, and PBC on NBC, Chris Algieri versus Errol Spence Jr. It's going to be a great night of fights. Definitely check it out. If you're in the area, buy a ticket. If not, check it out on NBC. Check me out in the meantime on my social media handle. If you can spell my name, you can find me. Everything is just Chris Algieri, Algieri.
Give it to us in Spanish, too. Give us all of that in Spanish, too.
That was a whole mouthful.
All right.
All right, Chris. Well, best of luck. Thank you for joining us. We will all be tuned in April 16th, and best of luck to you. We wish you nothing but the best.
Sounds good, ladies. Thank you so much.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Take care. All right, and there you have it. RB and I went toe-to-toe with Chris Algieri. We tagged in a couple of times. RB came off the top rope with the suplex, and it was a great interview. He's a great guy, and I'm looking forward to a great fight with him and Errol Spence.
I am too. It's going to be a really great fight for both of them. I'm maybe one of the few that thinks it could be a 50-50 fight. I am leaning more towards Errol Spence. I think this is his coming out party. I think it's his graduation day in New York. But Chris Algieri is not going to make it easy for him. Not going to make it easy.
Definitely not. Well, as you all know, as we announced at the top of the show, or if you follow boxing, you do know that it is Bradley Pacquiao Fight Week in Las Vegas, and RB and I will be heading to Las Vegas. RB, why don't you tell the listeners what we have planned this week?
Oh, my God. Okay, I am so hyped, y'all. So tomorrow, me and Jay, we get to Las Vegas to cover Pacquiao Bradley 3, and we are going to be on Radio Row, which is a huge, huge deal. You know, during the big fights, like the pay-per-view cards, there's a Radio Row. We're local radio stations, and those across the country, like Hot 97 in New York, they bring out their personalities like Angie Martinez and you know, all the cool popular names. And we're actually going to be Radio Row with them, and we are going to be coming to you live, and we are going to be broadcasting live at least twice a day. So we're going to do the morning show Friday and Saturday morning. We're going to do some impromptu shows throughout the day. We are going to be talking to everybody there throughout Media Row. We're going to get as much juice and as much tea and as many interviews as we can from everybody. So we're going to bring you to Vegas with us. You can live vicariously through us, and we are going to have a ton of fun. We have a lot of surprises in store. Our table is going to be popping, so you're going to want to tune in because you're going to pretty much hear from everybody at our table. So we're just excited. This is a really big deal.
And for all of you who want a little bonus and want to see what RB and I are doing, we will have some special segments that will make it to YouTube so you can see exactly. I'm not going to let the cat out the bag, but just get ready. You will enjoy it. It will be like nothing you've ever seen before. And it's going to be great. If you're in Vegas, you better try and find us. You know, we might have something for you. Nothing physical, you know. I mean, no touching. Don't touch us. But we might have something for you. So with that, RB, I know you are – I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say all of our listeners help us, you know, continue to grow in what we're doing with this podcast. And, you know, we have much bigger goals than this, and we want to be the voice, and we want to have fun. And, you know, we don't really focus on all the negativity all the time because there's so much more to it, and there's a lot of fans out there that just love the fights and love boxing. They don't care about the politics. They don't care about the bullshit. They don't care about any of that. So that's not what we focus on, and I think we've made a statement last year and this year, and a lot more people want to hear us, and they want to see us grow and take it to new levels, and it's because of our listeners. You know, so thank you for listening. Thank you for continuing to support us and tweeting us and supporting the show because you're getting us to where we want to be. So we really appreciate everyone.
Absolutely. We definitely could not do it without you. We appreciate your support, your tweets, your messages, Facebook, all the social media, the sharing. It's so critical. It's so important. And just keep doing it. If you like what we're doing, just keep supporting us by sharing what we're doing, listening, tune in every week, and tell a friend. It does matter. And, again, we very humbly receive your support and appreciate it very much. And we are looking forward to giving you more great, unique, authentic content this week.
Yes, and we're going to continue bringing the latest word on the curb. And, you know, just wanted to throw it out there. A few weeks ago, we dished the word on the curb that Eddie Chambers was fighting Gerald Washington. And today that was pretty much officially announced, but you heard it here with RV and Jay about 3 weeks ago. So make sure you turn in when you want to get, you know, the latest scoop. You know, just keep listening. We got you.
Definitely. Unfortunately, well, that was a great interview. And, RB, I know you got to go start making final preparations as you travel from Arizona. I will be traveling from Los Angeles tomorrow so we can link up. And so any parting words before you sign off, RB?
The last thing I want to do is I'm going to ditch some word on the curb, and I'm not even going to put this on Twitter. Anybody listening, you guys are going to get the exclusive right here. So you guys can tweet about it, talk about it. But Miguel Cotto, I was told today, he has a dance partner for June 18th in New York. And that dance partner is, drum roll, word on the curb. Word on the curb is Miguel Cotto is fighting Diego Chavez.
What? Puerto Rico, Argentina, so stand up.
You heard it here first. Unless something seriously changes in the next few days or few weeks or whatever, it's pretty much a done deal. So You heard it here. When it's announced, make sure you give RB&J props for the word on the curb. I think that's it, Jay. I'm ready for Vegas. Follow us on Twitter and make sure that you're tuning in with us when we're live in Vegas because it's going to be bananas.
It is going to be just something else. Just something else. If you think we're this live and we do this show remotely, wait till we are together in the same damn place at the same damn time. It's going to be ridiculous. So
I have people contacting me, Jay, like, when are you guys getting here? They are waiting for us to get there. So people are really anticipating our arrival. And I know it sounds crazy, and we're not bragging. We're just happy, and we're just doing what we love to do. And we have all types of people hitting us up right now, like, when are you getting here? And so all good signs.
All good times. Well, that's it for our show. As you know, it's Pacquiao Bradley. If you don't want to pay the $59.95 sticker price, head over to a bar. I'm sure they're showing it. Buy some Tecate. I think Tecate has a voucher in it, if I remember Mr. Aram saying that correctly. Great fight. Another great fight got picked up by Showtime. Anthony Joshua versus Charles Martin. That fight is going on in England. So it'll probably air on Showtime early. If not, you could probably watch it on Showtime anytime if you have the app.
That's something else that came out today. Everybody was like going goo gaga over what Chris Martin is potentially going to make in London this weekend. And again, like 3-4 weeks ago on the Morning Punch-In show with RB&J, we did the word on the curb that Chris Martin was going to probably make anywhere between $5 to $7.5 million on this fight by the time all the pay-per-view numbers come in, because Al Heyman is getting a piece of the pay-per-view, which is going to trickle down to Chris Martin. So if you were listening, you already knew that, and that stuff that came out today was old news.
Right. Yeah, so, we dish it, and we're not just playing around here. We're not trying to get trolled by you people in social media. So when you hear it on the show, please believe it's coming from good sources. So with that, we're gonna wrap it up a little early. As you can hear, I'm out in the field. I know you guys are over the traffic noise in the background, and I'm heading over because I'm gonna go watch a live taping of American Ninja Warrior. If you follow me in social media, you know I love the hell out of American Ninja Warrior. Then I'm gonna head out and pack. So if you are ready, oh my God, I feel like they're closing the curtain on me. They're gonna yank me with a hook. RB, any closing words before we sign off for the evening?
That's it. We'll talk to everyone tomorrow when we get to Vegas.
All right, everybody. You have a great night. We love you. Thanks for your support, and keep tuning in next time from Vegas. And we're out.
Peace.
This is Harold Letterman, and thank you for listening to Bad Culture Radio.
Most fast food places use complex algorithms to come up with combos, but that tastes even more boring than it sounds. With my new sourdough bacon ranch combo, we simply figured out how to get all that flavor into one combo. It comes with my delicious full-size sourdough bacon ranch on toasted sourdough bread, hot and salty fries, and 100+ drink choices for just $4.99. Class dismissed. The sourdough bacon ranch combo for $4.99 at Jack in the Box. Combo's done my way. For a limited time only at participating restaurants.